No, he's tied up with his dog.
Yeah, we're missing. Just Brad.
We're
No,
missing,
Amber.
Amber.
Okay, we are live, ladies and
He's
gentlemen.
coming.
Thank
He's
you.
got an issue too.
I am out of your way, make sure I'm not tripping on.
We're gonna.
Yeah, don't-
Yeah.
Well, I don't think we have to vote on it.
I'll call this meeting to order.
All right.
The Budget Committee for December 1st, 2022 at 6:05. Yeah, that's
Okay.
pretty good because I'm usually 5 minutes late. Tonight, we are meeting we have had more than enough time, I think, to review the quarterly report. I'll bring you up to date on some things. We'll talk about that. I have a little bit of old business and things like that, but I also have scheduled the future meetings to meet about the quarterly, so that we don't have this lapse of time in between, like I didn't intend for it to be like that, but there was no Thursdays I could get that weren't a holiday that were all of a sudden time got away from me, but that won't be happening in the future. So Jeanette was just explaining the expense summary report. The copy that we had previously there were some things in it that she couldn't fix at the time.
Can I clarify?
Yes, please.
So any journal entries that I did after September, it was like September 15th, were not showing up in the report.
Okay.
They were showing up in Trio, but they just weren't making it over to the reports. Trio has since fixed that problem.
So,
Yay.
so if we would,
Yeah.
we should go off of the updated one, of course. And I didn't know, I wanted to know if anybody had any issues with any of it.
I was just looking through a lot of the outstanding encumbrances and trying to figure those out and why they're outstanding. I'm trying to compare the new ones to the other ones, so sorry, I'm bouncing. a little
Okay,
bit
you want a
here.
few minutes?
I should be okay. So I mean, Jeanette, we can start like even like the negative numbers on the first page.
Yep.
So we have two negative numbers on page, let me get, on the newest one, 12-1, we have one negative number. So
You have,
Wait, you look,
Yeah.
where are you now? Where are you?
on the 12-1 report, the newest one that she just gave us tonight.
Which
All
page?
months, all
Okay.
months.
Front page.
Front page?
Front page, there's a negative 742.67.
Yeah,
Right at the bottom, electrician.
so the electrician's wages are based on the revenue that he brings in. So the revenue is listed in the revenue section of the reports.
Okay.
And he gets paid, so that's an expense, and accounting wise, you're looking at your expense report, so his revenues are listed in the revenue. So he has no budget for that,
Okay.
because he gets paid on what his revenues are,
Okay.
and the town gets a portion of that.
Okay.
Does that make sense, or are you still confused?
I get it a little, but I'm still a little confused.
Okay, so when somebody needs an electrical permit,
Right?
they come in and they pay for an electrical permit. And his mileage and his salary
Okay.
come out of those revenues.
Okay.
But acceptable accounting standards
Mhm.
are you put the revenues in the revenue line
Uh-huh.
and the expenses in the expense
line.
line. But it nets to, the town, I think, gets $100 or something.
Okay.
Something to that effect. So some of that money stays with the town, some of it gets paid out
Okay.
for his work.
All right. I get it. And then I guess onto the, I mean, does anyone else have stuff? So then we go into the next page and then we have some outstanding encumbrances, which I see have changed. I think I understand the benefits thing. That's probably from people's pay changing.
Benefits, that's for training.
So the outstanding encumbrance, what's that? The $96.
So that would be for a class, or probably 2 or 3 classes
Okay.
that people are taking. When they sign up for the class, we're obligating those funds.
Okay,
So I create an encumbrance, they go to the class,
and then you take it from
then
there.
I get an invoice, and then when I pay the invoice, it moves over to your year-to-date column.
So like, and then like the next one down for town hall, these are not like encumbrances from last year. These are ones that are current that you're keeping, like the
Current year,
9,639
current year,
is current year.
correct.
All right, and so that's just professional services that you're waiting to be used. Those
Correct.
monies
It's money that's been
earmarked?
obligated,
Okay,
but we have not yet received an invoice.
all right, and then we have, and it was the same thing for the -96 on page 3? Is that also for the mileage, like for,
That looks like a trio issue, I'll have to look into that.
okay,
for
because
you,
it was
Michelle.
0 on the other one.
Yep, no, there
Um,
should not be a negative there at all.
Okay, all right, no, just checking in, I'm just checking against the stuff and if anyone want to jump in while I'm doing this, knock yourself out. I'm just highlighting what I came across.
That should never be a negative, so I'll have to check into that.
Okay, all right. If I'm not trying to be a pain,
No,
Just
I
came across these things. And then, okay, here. So, and then there's the negative, oh no, it's not negative anymore. Because I had negative for the mowing. And that's now plus over here, is that what I'm,
So what's happened with the mowing contract is the select board has decided to put that back out to bid.
okay,
When, I encumber whatever I can encumber through the contracts,
okay,
through obligations, through purchase orders. So I had encumbered that full contract for March, April, for May, April, May, and June.
Okay.
Which was causing it to go negative,
okay,
because when I figured it out for the
Okay.
budget, so I unencumbered those
Okay.
funds
because there was a bunch of negatives, like
for the
a
mowing.
lot in there. And then
looking at the roads.
the roads, I get, it's just this was we're getting stuff done. Let me see if I had anything else flagged. I had that's page 7. I don't know if our pages line up. Yes. And this were the negative 2,800 for, must be, I'm not sure what it's for. Professionals services met.
Where are you?
Page
Michelle?
7,
Okay.
359.
Transfer station.
Transfer station, number 359. Line
So
59.
professional services, that's the hauling of the metal.
Oh, so that's where we got kicked in the biscuits a little bit.
Well, it's gonna offset with your tipping.
Okay,
So we will have a new line for that when we go to do next year's budget.
okay. Is there anything else that came across that? Question about the cemeteries, is that gonna be, I know that's the budget there, but I know they were just allotted, with the vote went through for the 60,000 to be put towards their, so does that change these lines at all, these line items for them at all?
It already did, Michelle. If you look at the first column, it says budget original,
Okay.
11.5.
All right,
If you look at budget
okay, now that I'm
adjustment,
looking at the new one, all right,
Yeah.
60,000,
yeah, so
All
your
right.
net budget is now 61.5,
okay. Or 71.5,
71.5, sorry.
okay, so they're not taking back the 11.5, they're keeping that there and then giving them 60.
Yeah, that's the way it was written.
Okay. All right. And then I had one more negatives, but that might be transfer station equipment, but now they're plus 13.
Right,
So-
what I did there, once I could see my journal entries.
Yeah.
We had ordered the cash register,
Okay,
that was budgeted, and
Yep.
we also ordered the tape,
yep.
the register
Yeah,
tape.
we
I
should
had
put
put
it
the
over.
register tape line in there, and it should have been in supplies.
Okay, so that's where that got.
Yeah,
so it
sorry,
says
we
plus
classed
13.
that to
All right.
supplies.
Those are all the questions that I came across on
Okay.
the one for the new tonight, but that all makes sense to me. And then you'll look into that one negative
Yeah,
by accident.
That's weird, that should not be.
Okay.
Should not be like
All
that.
right, sorry, everyone, for hogging up the floor
It's
here.
okay. Yeah, we want you to.
Yeah.
This is what I want you to do. Does anybody else have any questions, comments, or concerns about what they're looking at? I have more of a curiosity kind of a question, and it sort of goes along the same lines. And now if I can put my eyes on it again. Let's see, where is it? Let me, this is what's been happening to me today. I have something in my, and then I lose it. It was in roads. Yeah, that was that same kind of a thing like you were talking about. It's the budget adjustment on, it's section 131 roads.
Yep.
90 other and miscellaneous.
So when we did the budgets, you guys decided to fully fund that back to where it was, because we had originally cut that by 89,000.
Okay,
So you fully funded it. I put it into a miscellaneous line, and then Brad and I sat down and I said to him, where do you want to put this money, the difference? So you'll see that I funded the 89,000 for a total for the article for 735,000. And then I asked Brad, which line does it belong in? And he said repairs. So I had moved
Oh, yeah.
that to repairs.
I see the adjustment there that now on the repair line. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's awesome. I get a better understanding of this. Anybody else?
I guess one more question while we're talking, on page 9, 181, the planning in Bungana, you have negative 41,000, or actually, sorry, you have negative 41,000 for the adjustment.
Page is it?
Page 9 on the newest one. That's the last page, I think. No, well, the front is the almost last.
So I had put it to I put it to 17 when I
Yep.
keyed in the budget.
Right?
See the one above it?
Yep.
And it really belonged to Bungana, not planning.
Okay. Oh, so
So
just
that
a
was a
journal, it's just a
miskey.
journal entry.
And I made a correction.
Okay, all right, so
It
went to
really
Bungana.
belonged to Bungana.
Okay. Got it.
So when I set up the budget in Trio, and it rolls over, the only way to fix it is to make
Right,
that
to
correction
make
with the budget
To make an
adjustment.
entry, yep.
Yep.
Okay,
And that was my mistake with the new account numbers.
and then I'm assuming something kind of silly, same thing with the town hall, the negative 31, right at the bottom of the page, same page. For the adjustment.
So that, if you look on, I transferred, we did not pay as much for the copier
Okay,
as we anticipated, but the cash register was $31 more than we had anticipated. So I transferred that money to cover that.
okay. And the same with the negative 1,111 on page 10.
Correct. So the office equipment, the 1,111 part of that is the 31 and the 1080.
Okay. And then now back to the front page, page 1, I'm seeing the minus 9,305 and minus 3,978 budget adjustment.
Correct. That was an issue, the board had made an agreement with an employee, but then did not tell me when it came time to write the budget. So we had to backtrack with that, and we made that up with the difference in the select board clerk line.
Okay. And same with the treasurer. Or so when it's salaries, we have select board clerk and then the CEO, the minus 7,277.
Correct, to make up for those differences.
Okay.
Because she came in, we had no idea what we were gonna bring a CEO in at.
Yeah, so you came in, you marked it high and then we're providing it to where it is. Okay.
Correct, so we could make some of those fixes that were missed at budget time.
Okay. All right.
Anyone else?
Do you guys have any general questions on how all the accounting works? Okay,
No,
I
think
don't
it's-
at this time.
No, I mean, I know there's some things for, but it's more for budget season, some stuff I want to look at. That really isn't like quarterly.
okay.
Well, if there's nothing else on that stuff, let me give you the the scheduled meeting dates for the other quarters. And, that would be January 19th, 2023.
Is that at 6?
Yes, they're all of them I scheduled at 6, which was gonna lead me to something else. I didn't know, I set that time for 6 o'clock, and I remember we either met at 6 or 6:30 before, and so that's why I arbitrarily chose that time, but, is there anybody that is against 6 o'clock?
No, I can make it work.
6 o'clock's fine.
Fine with me.
Okay, so, okay, the January 19th, I said, this is my favorite, 4:20. 4:20 at 6 PM.
April.
April,
Yep, and, July 20th. And I'm not sure when our actual budget meetings will start, but we'll figure that out. These are just dates that I chose, so we didn't have to wait so long, because this is kind of ridiculous that we're almost at the end of the next quarter and that we're finally reviewing this one together, which I'll take full responsibility for that. I dropped the ball.
I mean, it's good. I think still this is good. The we're just at the beginning, small stages too, so we were able to see the differences and figure some things out. At least for me, it was good to see it like this and have time to look it over and highlight.
So at the end of the quarter, we'll be looking for information such as this so that we can have a little time to digest it before we meet.
Okay.
I just have one question. Do you see any issues, Jeanette?
Or,
Budget issues with the current budget?
I don't anticipate, I haven't seen anything come up or heard
Okay,
anything
I just wanted
that
to
is
give you the
causing-
opportunity to say if you saw something.
Yeah, no, I haven't really seen anything. I know, we've been talking about the town manager stuff, and I know that, I think the board's gonna do some addressing of that on Monday night, so.
what do you mean,
Why
what
would
do you
they
mean
be
by
a-
adjusting?
Yeah, you're not gonna have a town manager until the 1st of July, right?
Right, but so we've been trying to figure out how is this all gonna work? That's the only thing that we've really.
But that wouldn't be in this budget, would it?
No,
No.
Oh, okay,
No.
yeah, we're talking about this
It'd be in the
budget now.
Yeah.
next, but
I'm not seeing anything, that's the only thing that we have kind of up in the air right now, but, ARPA committee, I don't know if you guys know, but Michelle knows, the ARPA committee is recommending that they spend the ARPA funds on the transfer station and on the salt shed. And that's gonna be their recommendation to the
Yeah.
board Monday night,
We have
Yeah,
more
those
stuff that we're
issues. that-
gonna hopefully recommend. We're meeting again in January and we're looking at some other things that were pulled out of the budget last year. For instance, the stumping and graveling at Bunganut and the graveling above, which was not done, which was like over 35,000. And then the same way we did with the fire station, where we took the 56,000 that we had given the fire station for one of their pieces of equipment. We took that, put it back into the general fund, and then funded it with ARPA for that equipment. Taxpayers would have to pay for it anyways. And they're hoping to do the same with the Kennybunk Pond Committee instead of the money that's encumbering in the next year that we have to put money in, using the ARPA to fully fund them and get their project done. So that way it's not a taxpayer burden.
It will be a taxpayer
Yeah.
burden after that.
Yeah. big one.
And, well,
But anyways, that's what we're
Yeah.
looking to do. Like, so
That's
right
cool.
now, we're at least doing the transfer station and this, in the salt shed, which basically what's left after the fire station, it's gonna eat up probably most of it anyway.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
Quite a price tag on that.
thank you. So let's see, the quarter meetingly schedules, the reports, old business, I had, one thing. I'm writing the letter to the select board, which we spoke about at the September meeting. My major points in that letter will be the timing of the budget, the hostility and attitudes and problems that happened last year because everybody was frustrated, I think, because of the timing and some other things that we don't want to repeat, that we want to cooperate, but our tax dollars need to be spent wisely. And we're, as in my opinion, as a budget committee member, I'm more in tune personally with seeing where the money is going and looking out for my neighbors than I am my select board. And I feel like that's the job of the budget committees. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I feel like. And so I don't anticipate problems, but I'm not going to be afraid to. I'm not afraid to disagree with them. Put it that way. And I was going to write the letter and to bring to the select board meeting and read into the record. And I want to know if you guys would be okay if I do that, sticking to these points. Or would you like to review the letter before I submit
I'd
it
like
to
see the
them?
letter.
I'd like to see- I'd like to
Yeah,
see the letter
If you
first.
just send it
Okay.
to us, we can send it on
Okay.
email and we can
And the
review it.
board.
Yeah, if he's gonna read it.
No, that was just one of my questions I wanted to ask you guys, so
You got it, yeah.
I don't mind what the answer is, I just wanted to ask, because, I mean, I respect that, the committee, so, yes. Review, approval. Okay, the other thing we were looking at, different, we had talked about codes of ethics and just for the lack of a better word, I call it that. Some of them are different. I like some of the stuff that the planning board adopted. There was several things, there was a few things in each one that I kind of liked. Some of them I didn't like at all. I didn't really think anything really pertained to us. And so I'm kind of looking for an opinion on this. Is it necessary? Is it something we want to do? Do we want to work on this further? What do we?
I did review, did anyone else review them? If you want to go first.
I just kind of
Cursor.
perused them. I didn't get
So-
into them.
I did read them. A lot of them which was nice to see. A lot of them almost had kind of some repetitive themes in some of the different ones. Some did seem more geared towards probably a select board or a city council than a budget committee. I did like even just the simplicity of Kenny Bunk's code of ethics. Just to
Mhm.
even follow that. That was pretty nice.
Yeah, I like
Which is-
that too, because it's pretty simple.
It's simple, it's straightforward, it spells it out what we affirm and we acknowledge. We could, if there's something else we felt strongly that needed to be in this language, it'd be simple to add another number. But I really liked Kenny Bunk's just because it was pretty simple and pretty clear of what you want a budget committee to
Mhm.
hold to and adhere to. What was it?
I like that too. That
Yeah, I
was,
did, because one of the things, what was
because
it?
the one thing I get tired of is all the, like, there's one here.
Like number 4, we agree to refrain from making disparaging remarks about public or other members of the board. And we could add to it and any other boards of it, in the town, just to be ethical about it. To agree to disagree in a respectful way is really the best way to go forward to really make good relations across all boards in the town. So that's just my opinion. I mean, I did like the city council one here. I can't remember who this was. Sanford, I put them in order that I like them.
Oh, nice.
I liked Kennybunk, Sanford, and then I liked Bridgeton. And then it was almost redundant. They're all kind of the same all
Yeah.
the way down the rest of them. But these were my top three that I thought had some really nice stuff.
So which ones were those?
Kennybunk was my number one. Sanford was my number two. And Bridgeton was my number three. And that was just reading through all of them and what I saw.
I'm not sure at this time, because I mean, I read this stuff.
Yeah.
I should have read it over again closer to this meeting.
Well, without Brad
But I
and
kind
Amber
of feel
too.
the same way
Mhm.
about it in that regard. So is this something we want to continue to, you want to,
I personally would like to.
we want to do it? Do we want to,
we want to narrow it down to maybe review these three and all come
Yeah.
together off of that?
that would,
I
think that would
I
be-
would suggest that if you just type something up and send it for us for review, we can make comments. And at the next meeting, we can approve it. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
well,
everyone-
it does it's somewhat, I don't mind sending stuff for review, but I don't want our meetings to take place by email. I
Well, the
really
meeting is
feel
not gonna take
strongly.
place by email. She's gonna type it up, we're gonna look at it, we're gonna review it, and then we're gonna handle it.
Handle it at
Because
the
I don't think
meeting.
we wanna do
Okay.
all that kind of stuff.
What I
at
can
our
do
meetings.
is, as I get going through it and putting it together, if I have certain sections I'm not sure if we want it in there, I can email and ask that. And then at the next meeting, I present what I've gathered with the documents for proof, what I've highlighted,
Well,
to show you what I pulled from.
I hope you all understand my concerns about
I do.
the meeting by email, because that's not
Nope,
really
so
fair to the
I guess
public.
But I think it's a little different when you're talking about
a policy.
this kind of a thing versus something we're dealing with the budget, because we're not elected to write that
policy.
kind of stuff. We're elected to deal with the budget. So, I mean, I agree, we shouldn't be doing our work on the budget outside the meetings, but something like that, I mean, I don't care if you want to,
It's up to,
if you want to have it at the meeting, we can do it at the meeting.
yeah, if everyone wants to come with their highlights for what they do or don't think though on these three belong in
Okay.
it, then I can gather it and put it together after that with that. That way Amber has a chance to read it and Brad.
Yeah, that'd be. Do you want to schedule a meeting other than these other quarterly ones?
I don't,
No, I think, well, the next quarterly is right around the corner.
It is.
So why don't we concentrate on having all of us read these three? And like I said, I'll do the word processing, that's fine, I'll type. And then we can decide like what portions of these we want to put in total. Like one of them here was like, didn't make sense to have us as a, where was it? I mean, it doesn't hurt to have it in there, but it
Yeah.
really doesn't apply to us. There's number 5 was, we agree that our collective responsibility is to ensure that the town of Kennebunk is well operated, leaving day-to-day administration of the town to the chief administrative officer. That doesn't really apply to us.
no, we're not
So
gonna
I was
do
gonna-
any
I was gonna
administrative.
pluck
Right.
that out, so that's what I meant by, I'm
Cool.
gonna, there's certain ones that don't apply to us, so I
Yeah.
was gonna remove some of those things.
Well, that's what I thought about a lot of the York County
Yeah,
Code of Ethics.
Yeah.
That was a lot to take in.
that was a huge one. It was very redundant on Wyndham. But yeah, it was really heavy and I thought, whoa.
Right? So everybody will be getting their quarterly stuff well in time to
Mhm.
review before the meeting. We'll talk about this item more at length then also. And by then, I will write the letter to the select board and send it to you guys. See if you are okay with it,
Mhm.
and we'll meet again. And hopefully by then, by that meeting in January for the quarterly, we should know what's up timing wise
I would hope so.
and how the budget's gonna go, because I'm really hoping and hopeful that it will not go into the spring like it did this year. We almost didn't have enough time to finish it.
We
And
didn't
you
have
know,
that
you know,
time.
in years past,
That's never happened until
Well, it
then,
has
that I've
happened.
been
It
on,
has happened.
that I've been on the,
You're gonna push the selectmen something fierce most of the time to get their part of the project done.
I mean, quite frankly, we did not have enough time.
no, I
We
didn't
didn't, we
think
were
so.
we were forced, we had to.
Yeah.
It wasn't fair.
It wasn't pleasant.
This board, we're doing this quarterly stuff, okay?
Mhm.
Which I'm in favor of, all right, okay? But I wanna make darn sure that we don't stick our noses in to the department heads and tell them how they're spending the money. Because unless they're overdrawn, I don't think we have any say in how the money's spent.
Oh, I don't,
As far as the board.
Hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
I do. I don't feel like that is the plan. To
Okay.
me, why I wanted to review the quarterlies is to just keep an eye on things as the year goes,
No, I
to see how
understand.
things shake out in the process.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Because sometimes when we sit down to do the budget,
We don't know. what
we're like, well, why is this arbitrary number? What is this? Do we really need that? Well, this is gonna show us, yes, we
Right,
do,
right.
no, we don't.
Oh, this is kind of neat to see how things had to get moved. Like, that was nice to see, for me anyways, understand that maybe when I saw it at the beginning, I thought it was going here, but then it wound up getting moved here. And instead of waiting 12 months down the road to find out, I can find out in the first few months and understand, oh, well, they realized this happened, or it was a trio error or something like that that got caught.
So anybody have any new business?
No, but I think there's
Vicky,
Hello?
Hi, I'm Evelyn Ward. I live over on Chapel Shores Road. And I was just curious, when in the process, the town hall project starts to get discussed?
Well, that's a good question.
That's a select board.
No,
That's a
For us, it
That's a select
hasn't
board
even
issue.
come up as an
Okay.
issue, right?
So if I would go to a select board meeting, that would be.
Yeah,
You
you
could
should
ask
ask
them.
them.
Okay,
Yes.
That's what I'll
To
do.
get to be able to speak to them, you have to get on the agenda.
Yes, I will do
Just, but to
that.
mention it, they'll look at you and say, okay.
There's a-
Right, I mentioned it, I did go to one, and they were talking about it, and it was about space. And I think Sue came, not at that meeting, but she's talking to the board about how things work and how much space everybody will need.
Mhm.
That's kind of where I was coming from in terms of the historical society and, possibly the cemetery committee. But that's not I will go to the
Yeah.
select board, and maybe do I have to just write to the chair?
Just
and
write to
request-
Lindsay,
Lindsay.
the select clerk, and let her know you'd like to be on the agenda and what the topic is.
Okay,
And she'll let you know if she can fit you on.
thank you.
This is
Or
too
they'll- they
fancy.
can-
Sorry.
It looks like, yeah, it does look like in Congress or something.
Ugh. I don't know if Congress is discussing a code of ethics.
I think they missed that.
That's all I'm gonna say about that,
I
but,
think the vote got missed over there.
what do you say? If there's no more new business, then, we'll entertain a motion to
motion to
adjourn.
adjourn.
Second.
Is there any discussion on that? All those in favor?
I,
Aye.
all right, we shut her
Is
down.
it?
Thank you.
I don't think
When
they did. No, I
when
don't
you move
think
to
they
adjourn,
did.
I don't think you can have discussion.
There was none.
No, I know it, but I'm saying, I think in Robert's, I don't think you can.
Well, you know what? Roberts,